So what is this? Well, this is you got it. It's your ego. So your ego, let's talk about that as well, because the ego is not evil as it sure seems like with all the messaging out there today. And it's like, kill your ego, and there's do this and it'll be death to the ego. It's pretty brutal, and I admit I went through it as well. I at one point put my ego into a little box and put them aside. I thought that was what to do, and that caused a whole different relationship that wasn't so good. So um, I have been enlightening people for over 30 years and guiding them to enlightenment. Well, now it's over 34, almost 35 years. Oh boy, time flies, and it's been a fascinating journey. For me, my mom was very spiritual. My dad was very technical, and so I'm kind of the mix of those. And interesting enough, my dad was actually the spiritual one who got my mom introduced and opened things up and whatnot. So it's been this big, swirly kind of uh, integrated viewpoints and experiences that allowed me to really explore, to find my own path. And through all of that, through all the different studies of different religions, of different practices, modalities, methodologies, spiritual, practices as well. All these different ways. What I really learned is that there's infinite ways to this, and it should be that way because you're infinite, and there are infinite possibilities and uniquenesses to everyone. And so everybody has their own path. So if the path requires you to be spending 20 years meditating on the top of a mountain, fine, but you don't have to. So let's talk about a few things so that we're all on the same page, right? So enlightenment is really just getting above this programming, yeah? And the ego is these programming that you have. Now, what is the ego then? So the ego is actually a very wonderful gift. So let's first establish that we're our soul having a human experience. Okay, if you don't believe that, then this is probably not the video for you. So you have to have a certain level of understanding, and if it just doesn't fit for you, that's no problem. So thanks for joining, and it's probably better to turn this off. If you're still with me, then you understand that you are a soul, and then you're having this human experience. And in order to have this human experience, we need an ego. What that ego does is allows you to have far different experiences because it's giving this different filter that allows you to perceive things through the filter. And it's like you don't learn about the water by reading books about it, you jump in it. Same thing your soul does. You don't learn about certain experiences by reading about it, you jump in it. And that's what you've done. You've jumped in this body, into this whole life that has these characteristics, filters, that cause you to react a certain way, respond a certain way, feel a certain way. And these are all great. Actually, it's how it should start. So the ego helps us in the beginning with survivability and adaptability. So surviving, we can all agree that that's going to be a pretty powerful thing, because if you don't survive, you don't get to do any of the experiences. So it's needed, right? Adaptability is so that you can conform of sorts to relate, right? So like that's where you start picking up things from your parents, from siblings, from friends, to influence your way of behaving in society. For the good, the bad, whatever, but this is kind of how it works. Now, it's great to a point, yeah? So you're surviving, and then at some point you want to cross over and start thriving.